I wanted to make a video to help those of you that are doing a crankshaft sensor on a 5.2 Jeep Grand Cherokee V8. I watched some other YouTube videos and did read the Mopar manual, and I did things a bit differently from the tips and tricks that I read, and it worked pretty well for me. I think it's a hard job regardless of how you shake a stick at it, but in the other videos, the first steps are pretty straightforward. You're going to remove your coolant overflow tank. You're going to undo the PCM right here. You're just going to unscrew or unbolt it and pull it out, and then swing it up kind of over these two pipes. You're going to take off your exhaust shield, and you do need to pull the spark plugs and the loom and just kind of flip it on top of your valve cover. After that, it's disconnect the battery, obviously. You are going to need and I would get this before you start the job, you're going to need a new gasket for, I think it's your EGR tube, which is under the rear spark plugs. You'll see it when you pull the exhaust shield. So you're going to unbolt that EGR pipe and just lift it up out of the way. It's a solid like copper tube or something, but it swivels. So you'll swivel it up as high as possible. So, and then it's time to get at the crankshaft sensor. So what I wanted to share is I did have a heck of a time getting the crankshaft sensor unplugged. The plug is basically just down behind the distributor cap. And it's tough to get your hands down there. Like, I guess I have medium to large size hands, and it's tight. What I did is I used a step stool, and I laid across the top of the motor and just wrapped my right arm around the right side, my left around the left, and just was patient, and you'll get to it. I've heard some people do remove the intake, a bunch of stuff off the top of the motor to make it a little easier. I didn't have to do that. And really, as far as like getting at the crankshaft sensor bolts, like I did this job mostly by myself. And I would say you can entirely do it by yourself. What I added to the mix that worked real well was a camera. So I just went to Harbor Freight. I got this Ames camera for like 70 bucks. I don't think I could have done this job without this tool. It would have taken a lot longer. Basically, you just thread your feed down the backside of the motor, and then you can see what you're doing. And you've got so many extensions going. It's really difficult to get your 1/4 inch hex head. I used one of these at the end of an extension. I think I had 3 extensions like this with 2 swivel joints. I mean, it was a long and kind of messy process. So you just have to take your time, be patient, and it'll come. But the camera is really helpful. And my other tip that no one shared that I wanted to share is if you go under the truck, if you get on a creeper and go underneath and like look up, you can kind of, just inside like your front control arm, you can kind of get a view that's like coming up at the backside of the sensor, and you can see how it's oriented. I don't know why I just gave you that camera view. I was just trying to simulate the angle you're going for. But you can look up from underneath and you can see the backside of the sensor and see the angle. It's basically sitting like at a 45. So just visualizing the angle it's sitting at will help you kind of align your ratchet and your extensions as you go in at it. So, and like I can also help picture here. So like I went in with my ratchets like this direction, and like some went high. Sometimes I had to go down here for like the back one. So like that's kind of your angle of attack. So anyway, good luck with the project. Just be patient with it. It's not a fast job. and hope it goes well for you.